بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهدي الله فهو مهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن سيدنا محمدا عبده ورسوله. As we all know, the theme of all the khatiras or the reminders were all about incidents or events that took place in the time of the Prophet, peace be upon him, and how he reacted to them and the revelations that came to support him. I was told to close this series of events and incidents by something which is to prove that the Prophet ﷺ is the messenger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the prophecy of the Prophet ﷺ is no doubt about it regarding what the disbelievers and the haters of Islam keep saying. So, there are books which some of them mention more than 1,000 there are books which mention probably more than 1,000 proof or cause that the Prophet ﷺ is a true messenger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, supported by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the last messenger. So I choose from these thousands, few of them because of the time limitation here. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran says, وَرَفَعْنَا لَكَ ذِكْرَكَ in Surah Sharh, وَرَفَعْنَا لَكَ ذِكْرَكَ, we elevated your name among the Muslims. So you can see that there is no minute in the 24 hours that pass every day. There is no minute, but the adhan is raised and says, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. And every time we as Muslims hear the name of the Prophet, peace be upon him, we say, Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad. His name is the most remembered throughout the last 1400 years. Look at when we say, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad. When the others say, oh Jesus, oh God, Jesus God, subhanAllah. I'm sure the soul of Jesus gets hurt by that. On the other hand, we say, Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa barik ala Sayyidina Muhammad. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless Muhammad and shower his mercy. And the second one, when I mentioned one of the khatiras, one of the reminders, I mentioned about Abu Lahab. And we all had read and recited and memorized the Surah Abu Lahab. And this surah was revealed very early in Islam. Very early. One of the very first few that was recited, revealed to the Prophet ﷺ very early in Islam. And the Prophet lasted in Mecca for about 12, 13 years in Mecca. And the surah itself, Allah tells that Abu Lahab and his wife, their destiny is hellfire. Although he has sons, and the sons were equally harmful to the Prophet, but they were not mentioned. One of them got killed and eaten by a lion, and the other two became Muslims. But Abu Lahab and his wife, this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran, and their destiny was hellfire. So although also there were many other enemies of the Prophet ﷺ, but they were not mentioned. And subhanAllah, Abu Sufyan was a great enemy of the Prophet ﷺ. He was the head or the leader of the army to Ma'arakat al-Ghazwat Khandaq. But subhanAllah, eventually he became Muslim. So many of the great enemies of the Prophet ﷺ eventually became Muslims. But this prediction in the Quran that he and his wife, Abu Lahab and his wife, they resisted his hellfire, and it was. He can deceive and say, well, the Quran or your Quran is saying so and so, and Muhammad is saying so. Now I am a Muslim. But subhanAllah, Allah never guided him to say that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Ya ayyuha Rasul, balligh ma unzila ilayk min rabbik, wa in lam taf'al fama ballaghta risalatahu, wallahu ya'simuka min an-nas, inna Allah la yahdi al-qawma al-kafirin. Surah Al-Ma'idah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this verse, O Prophet Allah, proclaim the message which had been revealed to you from your Lord. If you don't do that, then you are not conveying the message. Wallahu ya'simuka min an-nas, and Allah will protect you from him who had the intention of harming you. Inna Allah la yahdi al-qawma al-kafirin. Verily Allah will not guide those who reject the faith. When this verse was revealed, Wallahu ya'simuka min an-nas, and Allah protects you from men who have wrong intention of harming you. Before that, the companions, they arranged it among themselves because they knew that the Prophet ﷺ is a target. A great deal of kuffar, disbelievers, and enemies, they want to harm him. They want to kill him. So they divided among themselves to protect the Prophet. They are always around him, even at night. He is sleeping, and the companions were around him. When this verse was revealed, Wallahu ya'simuka min an-nas, and Allah protects you from men who have the intention of harming you, the Prophet ﷺ said, nobody is needed now. You are free, Allah will take care of you. One Western philosopher, he said, when I read this verse, and I read what the Prophet told the companions, don't worry about me, Allah is taking care of me, I felt this is a truthful message. Because a liar can lie to anybody, but he cannot lie to himself. He cannot deceive himself. But for him to believe strongly in the verse of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to such extent, it means that he's a truthful messenger. And he became a Muslim because of this verse, subhanAllah. And when the Prophet ﷺ was in the cave, in his way migrating from Mecca to Medina with Abu Bakr, and the disbelievers were after them and reaching all the way to the gate of the cave. And Abu Bakr was so worried, he said to the Prophet ﷺ, if any of them looked to his feet, he will see us. And the response of the Prophet ﷺ, don't worry, we are two, Allah is our shepherd, we'll take care of you. لا تحزن إن الله معنا. Don't be worried, Allah will take care of us. Mary Geller is originally a Christian priest. He became Muslim. He said, when I came to know this, I just put myself in place of the Prophet. If I am there in place of the Prophet, I would tell to Abu Bakr, listen, stop, no. Otherwise they will hear us. Or I will tell him, is there any other hole we can get through from this? But look at the response of the Prophet. Complete confidence in the protection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is a true messenger. So each one of us, by the way, is a product of the society and community where we grow from. So if you sit with anyone, you will find him talking about his life, his culture, his parents, his family, the society where he had grown. And one Western historian, who eventually again became a Muslim too, he said, when I heard about Islam and I thought about reading the Quran, he said eventually what was in my mind, that this Quran was written by a Bedouin living in a desert. He has no experience of anything else. What came to mind that this Quran will just tell a story about how the Bedouins live, their culture, the life of the Prophet, his wives, his companions, and none of this is mentioned. The history tells that He grew as an orphan. He never mentioned anything. The Quran never mentioned anything about the father of the Prophet, or the mother of the Prophet, or the grandfather, or granduncle. None. The stories tell that he loved his wife dearly, Khadija, the first wife. He loved her dearly. Her name is never mentioned. On the other hand, there is a complete chapter about Mary, the mother of Sayyidina Isa. He had a great friend, Abu Bakr. His name was never mentioned. He went through a great deal of hardship in his life. Never mentioned. No mention of his life. Subhanallah. And on the other hand, you see that Sayyidina Musa was mentioned 130 times. Sayyidina Isa, 25 times. The Prophet's name was mentioned 5 times. And Allah is telling him to do something. He's not talking about himself. SubhanAllah. And it is something that he said, I was amazed. I mean, this is not his book. It's not his writing. There is nothing related to any his memoir of his lifetime. Nothing. So it is a book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Prophet ﷺ in one hadith said, Zamzam well, the water of Zamzam in Haram will never dry out. And the author says that the lifetime of any water well is not more than 100 years. But this now lasted for 1400 years. I don't know if any of you had been there to see how the pumping water. It is this much of a tube, and it's made of plastic glass. Is transparent. You see the amount of water coming out, pumping out from it. It is amazing. They they transfer to Medina every day 1,000 cubic meters. And this pump, which is taking water out from this well at the rate of 8,000 liters per minute. And then I multiply to see how many per day. It turned out to be 11.5 million liters per day. And still gushing water. SubhanAllah. And of course, millions of people drink it every day and even take it home with them. Also, we all know that the Prophet ﷺ, he never had been in school. He did not know how to read and write. And the revelation was within a period of 23 years. In this 23 years, we go through the Quran, a great deal of knowledge around the Tawheed, the oneness of La ilaha illallah, about the sea, about the space, about the desert, about the divorce, about the marriage, about the relation between a husband and wife, about medicine, about sea life. And he never had been in a boat, in the sea. Subhanallah. So, paradise, hell, the graves, great descriptions about heaven, hell, the human culture, so economy, politics, great deal of broad knowledge. Where he got this? Been in Harvard or MIT? No, never. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him this divine knowledge from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This knowledge from this wonderful prophet is now the core knowledge in a university like Al-Azhar. It's the oldest university on the surface of earth, more than 1,000 years. And through these years of Al-Azhar, 1,000 years, tens, if not hundreds, of scholars. And those scholars, they are not having all this broad knowledge, but they spend all their life just in one subject, one topic. And Allah said, the Prophet has all knowledge for all these topics. Even in science and so on, we have the computers, the internet. No one can have more than one field to specialize in. And more than that, whatever he mentioned, you can't find anything that contradicts that. And still things that can be discovered later on. SubhanAllah. He never made use of a situation to take advantage of it. When his son Ibrahim died as an orphan, and he cried when he was burying his son. I was so grieved, so sad. And on that day, there was an eclipse, where the moon came in the way of the sun, eclipse. And the companions were saying, oh, even is sad, because the prophet is sad, Ibrahim died. He could take advantage of that, yes. He is a great prophet, and even is sad. But no, he said, no, that's not true. The sun and the moon are two signs of Allah, and they don't eclipse for the days of anybody or the grief of anybody. Look at this. He is also very humble individual. Very humble. One time he was coming in a meeting, and the companions stood. He said, don't do that anymore. This is what the Romans and the Persians do for the kings. Don't do this for me. And also he said, don't praise me too much. Don't praise me too much. Like what the Christians have done to Jesus and ended up worshiping him as God and Son of God. And nobody but servant of Allah and the messenger of Allah. Alayhi salatu. The time is running or flying away, but I'll just end up with this. As they say, the good tree produces good fruit. Bad tree produces bad fruit. What to say about such a prophet who said, or advised us as Muslims to take care of our older parents, to avoid adultery, to stay away from usury, not to drink alcohol, not to gamble, not to practice patience, to be patient, to lower our gaze, to smile in the face of your brother, to avoid backbiting, not to spy on one another, to watch over the orphans and take care of the widows, not to gossip, to look down at your brother, not to ever look down at your brother, and he forbade arrogance, to control your anger, to be kind to your wife and children, to be generous to them and welcome the guests, to call your brother by the best titles he had, to be forgiven in the time when you are in control, forgive, to help your brother in the time of need, to be merciful to the animals and provide to them, to be just when judging between people even if they are different in face with you, to be calm and not to argue when you are angry, to spread peace among people and feed the strangers who are on travel, to speak nothing but goodness and to avoid bad language, not to play the game of scaring people, to respond back the greeting with a better one, to be kind to your neighbor, to give the advice when you have been asked to do so, to visit the sick, to attend the funerals, not to interfere in the affairs of others, not to envy one another, or to wish bad to your brother, to help one another, to do good, to do the good deed and not to wait for the reward from anybody, except it only from Allah. Be always optimistic and never lose hope in Allah that things will get better. Not to talk about the shortfalls of others, to be honest and trustworthy, not to be greedy, to stay on the side of the door when you are knocking on the door of your friend. If you are knocking on the door, the door is open, so don't keep looking because it might be some lady that's not well dressed. So worst habit is when he knocks the door, he gets on the side. So the person who's opening the door comes out to see him. To hope for your brother what you hope for yourself. To always be clean and dress well. Not to be arrogant and not to talk about yourself and your family members. My father is a minister, my grandfather is a king. No, don't talk about this. Not to disturb others by your loud voice. Not to overeat or overdrink. To do your job in the best manner. To unite with your brothers and your community. not to be lazy and be an active member in the community, to do the best you can to earn your life and not to ask people for support, not to talk secretly with your brother when a third brother is sitting. So if you are three of you, don't talk secretly with somebody and leave the other one standing watching. This is not respect for the other person. So many of those beautiful characters which support us, how can we consider him but a great prophet, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed us with to be our prophet, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala benefit from his teachings and his, the religion of Islam and accept our prayers and our fasting, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward us for what ibadat we have done, may Allah accept it from us. Amen.